Well, hello everyone, and hope you're all having a great Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jean McDowell with TradersCoach.com, and welcome to Wednesday Night Live. And tonight we've got a really great presentation by Bennett McDowell. He's going to be talking about the PTF trade setup, and it's a great strategy. You're really going to love what he has to show you because it really helps stack the deck in your favor and helps you know exactly whether or not the trend that you're in is going to continue or possibly end. So you'll know probabilities on that. All right, so Bennett, as many of you know, is an expert in technical analysis, money management, Elliott Wave techniques, and trading psychology. And of course, the TradersCoach.com website has received many stocks and commodities Reader's Choice Awards. And Bennett has written 4 best-selling books: The Art of Trading, A Trader's Money Management System, A Survival Guide for Traders, and Elliott Wave Techniques Simplified. Well, Bennett, I think I will turn it over to you.
All right, Jeannie, thank you very much. Well, welcome everybody. Great to be here. Great turnout tonight. So this is great. So as Jean says, we're going to talk about the PTF indicator, but not only that, I'm going to show you how we can actually trade using it. It is a fantastic indicator. I use it a lot, especially when I'm day trading as well, because it's great to be able to show up literally at any time during the market hours. And with the PTF, it gives me quick scalp trades. So if I miss a trend, I still have an opportunity to trade using the PTF indicator. So I'm going to show you that today. And then if you can wait till the end of the presentation, if you don't have the PTF indicator, we're going to give you a really good deal on it. So don't go anywhere, stay there. And this is a tool you're definitely going to want to add to your toolbox. All right, so before we get going, I just have to, of course, go over the risks involved in trading and also let you know that past performance does not equal future performance. And we also want you to realize to always trade with risk capital. And of course, in the markets, we always deal in probabilities, so nothing is guaranteed. And probably a good idea to check with your financial advisor, accountant, or attorney before actually implementing any ideas regarding speculation or trading or even investments, just to make sure they are suitable for you because they know your personal situation. All right, we'd like to invite you to our TradersCoach.com website. Now, many of you here I see are new, so welcome. We do have some veterans here, our current clients, so great to have you all here as well. And the website, you know, it's constantly, we're adding stuff to it and doing all that kind of good stuff. But we have a lot of information there. We have a lot of free videos on certain aspects of trading, as well as out on how our software works. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. And also, too, I've got a bunch of books available at the major bookstores. All our books are published by major publishers like Wiley Trading and also McGraw-Hill. And I'm working on another book that will be out next year as well. So those are all available. Probably the best place to go is Amazon. That way you can read all the reviews and things like that. But it is available too at Barnes & Noble and places like that too. All right, so quick little intro on me. I started my career back on Wall Street in the 1980s. So I've been at this business for a long time. I've been trading now for over, I want to say 30 plus years, maybe even 36, right around there. So it's been quite an interesting journey. I started when there really wasn't an internet. And back then, I remember getting all my charts. All the charts had to be FedExed to me. A lot of the futures charts used to be paper charts that were being FedExed. I don't know if anybody can share that experience, but quite a bit of change going on now. And of course, now with the internet and the technology and the software, hey, we can do this business literally anywhere in the world. So it's really opened it up. All right, so it's a great time to be a trader now. It really is. And not only that, but there's enough volatility in the markets that you can really find opportunity on a variety of different time frames that suit your needs. So really a very unique time to be a trader, simply because you can do it from your home. You know, it's interesting is, as bad as this COVID-19 stuff has been, it's also really opened people's eyes to let them realize that, you know, even though we've been forced to stay at home, so to speak, guess what? As long as you have a computer and an internet, you could be trading the financial markets. So our business has really gone up tenfold because so many more people now are finding out how great traders are. And with the brokers now so available online, it's just a great environment because you can literally trade so many different markets. They have micros now for the futures. You know, you have the ETFs and so forth for stocks. So they're always coming up with something new. But having computers at our fingertips has been a real game changer. And a lot of the software that we use today, you know, if you go back 30 years from now, none of that was available at home. We had a little bit of it programmed, of course, using the old code in the IBM computers back in the wirehouses, but for the most part, that's it, okay? And it's really changed quite a bit. So no more pencil and paper necessary. All right, so let me ask a couple questions here. I always like to do this to get a kind of a little pulse on the folks out there. All right, now, have you ever been in a trade and had a hard time during the trade deciding if you should get out or wait for more profits? How many people have had that dilemma? You're in a trade, you're actually profitable, but now the decision is a little bit of a pullback's coming maybe, and so what do? How about that? All right, anybody have encountered that? Sure, okay, a lot of people, yes, okay. So a lot of people, that's kind of a common issue out there for people when they're trading the financial markets. And it also entails, you know, scaling out of markets as well. So that's something we run into a lot as traders. And basically, piggyback on that question is, have you ever wondered if a recent top or a bottom, for that matter, is the end of a significant trend? So in other words, same type of question, but, you know, if you get to the top of a target range, you know, is it going to go higher or is it not? And so the PTF indicator is going to help us answer a lot of these type of questions. All right, and simply, you know, are we going to make more highs and more lows is always the question we have on any type of swing trading we do in the market. And so a lot of why I created the PTF was basically, in my own mind, you know, I wish I had some type of way of having a high probability indicator for scalping the markets. Would have made life a lot easier because a lot of times when the markets are moving, they're not trending. And so it's nice to be able to scalp those markets and find the appropriate time frame to do it. And so the PTF indicator was something that I came across that really helped me a lot on this. So I want to show you how using just one powerful indicator can become a true trading partner. And it really is like a trading partner. I'm going to show you how. All right, so this is all about stacking the deck in your favor. And the PTF indicator stands for Precision Trend Filter, and it's a high probability indicator for scalping the markets. So let's get into it. All right, first of all, one of the most important parts of this indicator is it has a 75% accuracy rate. Okay, that's outstanding for the markets. There are not many indicators out there that we can say that. All right, so 75% accuracy, and it's very easy to use. Basically what you do is you're going to be seeing the indicator at the bottom of the chart, and it's going to consist of 3 colors that we want to focus on. And so the PTF establishes when there is a high probability that the market will either make more highs or more lows. This filter takes the guesswork out of knowing if a trend will continue or not, or a scalp trade will continue or not. When used with your current trading system or approach, the PTF can help boost profits. So basically, when it's green, we know that it's going to make more highs, and the highest price bar in that green area is going to be the target zone. And I'm going to show you this on charts pretty soon. When we see it bearish, it'll be red. And we know that that is an indication that the lowest low in that bearish or red area, there's a high probability of 75% we're going lower. And when it's neutral, there's no reading, it's yellow. It's just neutral. So think of the PTF as a trading partner. When it's green, it's telling you, okay, you know, we got 75% chance we're going higher. When it's red, 75% lower. And when it's yellow, He has no idea, okay? 3 things that partner can answer for you right there. All right, so let's go on and just see a little bit how it works. So here is the PTF indicator at the bottom of the chart. So many of you, are kind of used to seeing indicators at the bottom. So this is what it looks like. The PTF, basically what it's designed to do is when this little oscillator line goes above the upper band here, then it's going to turn it green. When it goes below, which it didn't do in this example, it will turn it red. And so what you really want to pay attention to is the color, not necessarily the oscillator. In fact, the oscillator, if you wanted to, you could actually remove it in the settings window and just have the colors. So the colors is what you want to focus on. But in a case like this, when you have a green PTF and you have a pullback, notice that when it makes another high, as soon as it breaches the high, if the momentum is not currently on that price bar as high as it was when it turned it green originally and makes another high, then it's going to turn yellow. Then if the momentum continues like it did in this example here, it turned it green again. So then we know there's a 75% probability, even if it pulls back, that it's going to return and go higher. And that's what it did. Then it goes yellow, so it's neutral. And when it's neutral, it can go higher or lower. It's just neutral. It has no reading at that point. But the momentum picked up again and turned it green again. So then we know we're going to have higher highs. And see the pullback, higher highs. And then we have another pullback here, but it's green. So chances are we'll have higher highs. And it looks like it was moving up in this example. Now, what's interesting about the PTF is we don't know how long it's going to take for the next high to come in this example, nor do we know how long or how much it's going to pull back in the trend. Fibonacci, you could have Fibonacci retracements and have this thing remain green, but it's just indicating that the trend is not over. So you could have a pullback, but then again with more highs. And likewise, during a sell-off and it makes it turn red, this is an area here where we know, based on the PTF, there's a 75% probability that even if we get this type of movement here, this is not the end of the trend down, that we're going to head back down. And so that's kind of a nice thing to know, because it would keep you from going long at certain times when you think a bottom's end, because the PTF is basically telling you it's not. All right, one more chart here just to kind of get an idea of how it works. If you're using it with some other software, for example, we have, of course, the Pyramid Trading Points with the ART software. So in this case here, you want to basically, here are the pyramids here. When it turns green, all right, that's a confirmation of the trend with more highs in place. So that can give you a lot of confidence when you trade to go in the direction not only of the trading signals that your system generates, but also too, you can go in the direction of the PTF. So more highs are coming. And this is a great example. Here we have a high, a little bit of a pullback, but we still have a green PTF. So you kind of don't want to necessarily get out here. You kind of want to stick with it because it should go higher. And that's the kind of questions that the PTF can answer. So any questions on this so far? Any questions? All right, so no questions so far. So okay, so let's move on and take a look at real life current trading examples. All right, so here's a trade from our More service. How many people out there are in the More service? Give me a yay. Oh boy, I've got a lot. Okay, good. All right, so quite a few people are in the More service. So here is an example of a PTF trade. Now the PTF is this indicator here, right? So check it out. This big move up turned it green, and then the market settled down. So then we scanned for this, and we found that we had a green PTF and a green owl, which is some things we look at. And so we put this on the More for an entry price at $12.53, and this was back on November 22nd. All right, so basically this trade is saying, okay, there's a 75% probability based on the PTF that we should get up to this target zone, which is at $22.81. Now, we don't know how long it's going to take to get up there, but that's the trade. And so you want to put your stop at the lowest pyramid here at 1031 based on our trading approach. And here's what happened. The market reached up and got above that high. And so it did that on March 22nd. So that's a 45% gain in just 4 months using just basically the PTF indicator on that. So that is the power of the PTF. And this happened to be American Airlines, this stock here. All right, so let's move on. All right, let me ask you guys a question. Here's a stock, CLSK. Now, the question is, would you trade it now? Obviously, if you showed up back here, you had the PTF trade, okay? But what about now? What if we just saw this now? All right, let me ask you a question. Where is the highest high in this new green area? Is it here, 1, 2, or 3, or 4? So where is the PTF target price? Let's do a little participation here. Paul, I know you're going to know the answer. Who else? So is the PTF target at 1, 2, 3, or 4? All right, 1, right. Everybody pretty much got that right. All right, so it's 1 because very simple. Again, this is how simple this indicator is. Just find the highest high in this PTF indicator, and that's it. Now, the next question is, would you trade this now? And if so, where would you put your stop? Now, we don't have any of the ART software loaded. We don't have anything else loaded here. Now, you may use this with any trading system that you want, but let's just think about what this is helping us do here. So we know that this is a target zone up here. We know prices are right around, looks like, what, 23.20, right? All right, so we expect this thing to get almost up to, what, 44, 43. So that's a huge gain, isn't it? Question is, next, is where are you going to put your stop? Well, what if we put it under here? Now, you could do your fib retracements and the whole 9 yards, but if you put your stop here, what's your risk to reward? Well, the raw risk is the difference between the entry here and here, but look at this. That's almost a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And that's a no-brainer, as Paul says, right? Okay, no-brainer. All right, so this would be a trade you should consider. Now, if you didn't have any other trading system used here, you could use the PTF and enter this trade, put your stop here, and there's your target. All you'd have to do is calculate your trade size. You could even do an option on this. That, to me, is a tremendous benefit. And I can't tell you, when I day trade markets like this, and Paul, I know you're with us, and I got Jeff here and a whole bunch of other people in the day trading room. You know, we can literally show up in any market, any time frame. And if we see this type of setup or something close to it, boom, right? All right, so there it is. You know, if you're an Elliott wave person, that might look like a 3, a 4, and a 5, okay? But we're not trading to 5 necessarily. We're just trading the scalp to the PTF. All right, let's take a look at another one. This is FCEL, all right? Many people got into this on the way up here. You know, here's your green PTF there. But what about now? Okay, so we had a green PTF triggered at this top here. Now we've had a move down. So this one is up right around 28, it looks like. And boy, I have to get my glasses for this one. And it looks like we're right around 15 something. I'd say 15.50 or something, or where prices are when I took a picture of this chart. So right around here. All right, so again, here's another great example. So green PTF, you put your stop here. Here's your target. And there you have it. Looked almost exactly like the other chart, right? But it's not. Different chart. This one was stock CLSK. And you can look there because I just took these pictures. This is how they look. And this is FCEL current. All right, let's look at another one. All right, what about this one? BMRN. Now this is interesting. So here's a green PTF here. So what's the highest high in this area? That's this. So there's our target price. Hopefully I'll get a kind of a straight line. So, you know, what is that, around 94? Prices right now are at 78 and some change. Okay, so again, you can put your stop here, or you might even want to put it a little lower, maybe here. As long as your risk to reward is 2 to 1, meaning your profit, potential profit, is twice as good at least as where you put your stop. Here's the Russell with the June 21st contract. And so just taken today, matter of fact, let's take a look and see what this tells us here. First of all, when we get the pyramids down here and we start shorting, guess what? When we get that third pyramid and we have a green PTF, we know it's going lower. And now, look at this. Our stop is way up here, and we have a red PTF. So you don't want to move your stop at all. You want to keep it right there because with a red PTF, it's going to go lower. Let's look at the 10-second chart. Let's say, you know, your primary chart is the 1 minute, very short day trading time frame. This is the chart we use when we have the day trading room. But let's say we're short this, we made really good money, and you know, we kind of want to scale out. Well, guess what? Look at this over here on the 10-second chart. When that PTF turns yellow on the 10-second, it also breached the pyramid. You could scale out. If you were short 5 contracts, you could scale out 2 and keep the rest on, because even after a move up, you're probably going to go down. So a lot of different ways and different time frames, ways in which you can use the PTF, but it is absolutely invaluable. And I use it on position trading, like you saw me use it on the stocks before, as well as futures trading. And we trade crude, we trade the MES, which is the micro E-mini, the whole, you know, doesn't matter. Any time frame, any market, you can do it on. You may not want to trade the 1 minute. You may want to trade, you know, something a little longer, like the 5 minute. All right, so the PTF indicator, basically we have programmed so it works on TradeStation, NinjaTrader, eSignal, Multi-Charts, MetaTrader 4 and 5. Now, if you are using something like Thinkorswim, a lot of people like that platform, that's a TD Ameritrade platform. So what you can do is you can download the NinjaTrader free charting platform. It's free. Install the PTF indicator on that, import your data right over from TD Ameritrade, and you can use it right in combination with Thinkorswim or any other platform that you want to. And the nice thing about NinjaTrader being free is it also connects to brokers. So if you're using Interactive Brokers or one of those like that, you can import the data right in. And if you position trade only, they have free data that you can use. So that's a nice platform if you don't have one of these compatible platforms already. So that is the platforms it works on. Any questions on this? Do you understand how it works? Now, let me ask another question. How many people would find something like this useful? I can't believe anybody would not find an indicator like this indicator to have in their toolbox. No kidding. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? Exactly, exactly. So, all right, so I did say I'd have an offer for you, so let me get to that next. And I do want to keep these around half an hour, so I'm kind of at my limit here. So let me just go on real quick. So the offer on this is $499, and Gene put this together. It's a 35% savings, and this is a lifetime license, folks. We don't charge you, you know, anything every year like some of these other software companies do. In fact, we've had people that had bought some of our stuff like 10 years ago, and they say, oh, I want to download the software I purchased, and boom, you know, we give them the links, they download it, and they're like, that's, you know, fantastic. So it's a lifetime license. So $499 for this indicator is, I think, an excellent bargain for everybody. So Jean put that together, and she's going to put the link up in the chat area, and I think she just did that. So you can click on that link there, and that's it. And I want to thank everybody for attending. So if you have any last minute questions, feel free to ask. But the idea of the PTF is we try to keep it as simple as possible. That's the key thing. And as Jean says, you have a 10-day money back guarantee. So if you purchase this you have 10 days. I don't think we've had anybody return the PTF indicator. It's that good. It's easy to use. Now, also too, this also includes a couple things. One is that our software installer, Mark, who does a real good job, everybody loves Mark, he can actually go onto your computer and install it for you. So if you're not good at doing stuff like that, he'll do it for you. And he can set that up so it automatically loads on your charts, regardless of what platform you're using. Buy the software, there are complete manuals on how to use it. But don't forget, you can also come to the client support. I do a client support webinar every week on Wednesdays. So basically we're there for about a half an hour each week. And it's designed really for people either new or learning how to put it all together. So we kind of cover trading, but also specific questions you may have. It's really a webinar for you. It's not a sales webinar. It is a webinar for you. All right, well, that's it. So listen, thank you very much. Great questions today. I appreciate it. And Jean, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and we'll see you all later throughout the week.
Terrific. That was a great session, great questions. And I know a lot of you have always been asking questions about how does the PTF trade work. Basically, you can trade with just one indicator, and then it really covers a lot of that also in the weekly client support events. So if anyone has any questions, you can certainly reach out to me anytime. And good to see you all here. Al, you're very welcome. Good to see you. And you all have a great night. And we'll see you next time for Wednesday Night Live.